In this video, I'm going to discuss the importance of friendly competition during practice. Hey there, I'm Eli Strawman, a performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Friendly competition during practice refers to when you are competing against your teammates. Now, this can be something that seems very scary, but it's an important piece to you reaching your full potential as an athlete. So what I want to discuss is how this friendly competition improves your performance, and then give you a few tips that you can use to really embrace this friendly competition during practice. There are three main reasons why friendly competition will increase your performance. Reason number one is that it forces you to get better. So let's say that you are a baseball player, and so your competition during practice is you facing your number one or number two pitcher on the team. So you're taking some live at-bats against them. This is going to be a challenge for you, right? It's going to be a challenge to face such a good pitcher, and so you likely will be forced to get better day after day, practice after practice, every single time you go against your good pitchers on your team. The same is true if you are a soccer player and you're forced to defend one of the best players on your team in practice. That's going to force you to get better because you will naturally improve and get better as you face this higher level of competition. When we are in practice and we are facing players who are better than us, more skilled than us, then this is going to force us to get better because it forces us to challenge ourselves every single practice. Number two is that it's going to highlight areas that are weak points within your game, right? So let's imagine now that you are a basketball player and you're going up against, or you're guarding one of the best point guards on your team. And so that point guard keeps beating you to your left, right? So maybe you're a little weak defending to your left. Well, as they continue to beat you to your left, what ends up happening is you realize that, all right, defending to my left is a weakness that I have within my game. So then what would you do? Well, outside of practice, you would work on defending to your left on your own. And then during practice, you would keep challenging yourself and forcing yourself to get better by defending players like that point guard who force you to go to your left. By highlighting areas that are weak right now within your game, in the moment, this can feel very frustrating and it can feel like you're being exposed. But the truth is, when you know your weaknesses as an athlete, you can then put more attention to improving those weaknesses, practicing on your own, and then also practicing during team practices and training sessions. And ultimately, that's what's going to help you increase your performance long term, is by turning these weaknesses into strengths because you recognize them due to this friendly level of competition. And the third reason that it helps you improve is that it helps you see challenges as opportunities. Now, as athletes, we are faced with many different challenges throughout our career or even just within a certain season or within a game. And it's really important that when challenges come your way as an athlete, you don't see them as setbacks or roadblocks. You see them as opportunities to grow and improve. And that's exactly the way you need to see this friendly competition during practice, right? So earlier I gave the example of a hitter going against their number one or number two pitcher on the team. That's a challenge, right? I mean, unless you're the top hitter on the team, that's going to be a challenge. And even if you are the top hitter on the team, that will still be a challenge facing your number one or number two pitcher on your team. Now, you could view that challenge as a frustration. You could view it as a way to kind of point out ways that you're not good enough to play, or you could see it as an opportunity to grow and improve. And all of this is just a mindset shift that we need to make. And it's an overall approach that we take to challenging situations within our sport. When we can see challenges as opportunities to grow and improve, we face them with a little bit more motivation and we give more effort and we believe that we can actually improve rather than seeing these as purely setbacks. Now, this brings me to how you as an athlete can embrace friendly competition. And so tip number one is you want to see it as growth, not judgment. So we want to see this friendly competition as an opportunity for you to grow and improve, like I was saying in the last reason where I said, we're going to see challenges as opportunities. Well, if we're going to see challenges as opportunities, we need to recognize that friendly competition is about growth. It's not about judgment. One of the main reasons why, I'll see athletes shy away from friendly competition is that they are afraid of being judged negatively. And this is something that I see a lot in one-on-one coaching, which, by the way, if you are interested in one-on-one coaching or any of the other sports psychology programs I have available, I've put links to those in the description below. Now, if you're afraid of being judged negatively by your coach or by your teammates, then you'll be shying away from this friendly competition. You don't want to fail going up against somebody else on your team because that could make you feel like you're not good enough. But the truth is, we have to see this friendly competition for what it is. It is an opportunity to grow and improve. You have to challenge yourself. You have to push yourself. And the example, or kind of the analogy that I always like to give to athletes is that when we are in the weight room, we recognize that resistance is the way to strengthen our body, right? We have to have resistance. We have to work close to failure in order to get stronger. The same is true when we are practicing. We have to have resistance in order to grow as a player. If we're just going through, monotonous training day after day after day, we're not really growing. Yes, we need to make sure that we have that baseline, kind of fundamental training in place where we are going through that repetitive training. But in addition to that, we need to challenge ourselves, right? We need to go up against players within our team that are going to beat us. We need to go up against players who highlight our areas of weakness. But we do that because we see all this as growth. We don't see it as judgment. Tip number 2 is you want to learn from your defeats. Now, if we're going to see these challenges as opportunities to grow, we have to grow from them. We have to learn from them instead of just beating ourselves up. So if you're seeing these challenging situations or friendly competitions during practice as times to be judged, then if you don't do well, right, so you're defeated in practice, it's likely that you will beat yourself up and you'll get down on yourself. You'll go home that night, you'll be feeling upset with yourself, and then you'll carry that frustration with you into the next day. However, if you can really learn from these defeats, right? Learn from these failures during practice. That's where we really start to see ourselves grow and improve as a result of going against teammates and embracing this friendly competition. And in order to learn from your defeats instead of beating yourself up based on your defeats, it starts with you taking this initial mindset approach of, I am using challenges and competition during practice to grow and improve. It's not a time for me to prove how good I am, which then turns into judgment. So make sure that after practices, after you go through this friendly competition, you are learning from your defeats. And then lastly, you want to be proud of your effort. Again, all of this is pointing back to the difference between seeing friendly competition purely as a way for you to prove yourself and how you need to win every single competition you face during practice, to seeing it as a growth opportunity and a way for you to get better. So you need to be proud of your effort. If you're truly challenging yourself during practice, you will not succeed every single practice. If you succeed every single practice within this friendly competition, you need to test yourself a little bit more. You need to figure out a way to challenge yourself more during practice. If we are embracing friendly competition during practice, the point is not to succeed. The point is to grow. In order for you to grow, you have to fail. You have to point out areas that you're currently weak or where you're currently weak so then you can work on them and actually get better and develop as a player. And if that's the case, then we cannot base the success of a practice purely on that outcome and result success. Otherwise, what we're going to see happen with this friendly competition is we're going to see the confidence drop too, because confidence is going to drop since we're seeing ourselves fail during practice. But if we know that the point of this friendly competition is growth, not immediate success, then we have to have a different metric for how we are measuring our success for practice. And that metric will be effort. Did you try to challenge yourself? Did you go up against the better player on your team? Did you try to be the first in line to defend that star point guard or the star player with the ball, right? Did you go up and try to face that star pitcher on your team in an at-bat, knowing very well that you probably will fail in that situation? If you did that, you should feel proud of your effort because it's those little decisions, right? Those efforts you give in order to challenge yourself where you're going to grow and ultimately become the best player that you can be. Friendly competition during practice is key to you becoming the best you can be, but it's also key to your team developing into the best team it can be because you guys are challenging each other. But we have to be careful that we are not seeing this purely as judgment and we're not trying to succeed in practice. Otherwise, you're not really challenging yourself. Let's accept the fact that we are embracing this friendly competition as a way to challenge ourselves and grow. Let's make sure that we are learning from defeats. And then lastly, be proud of your effort. And that's how you can embrace this friendly competition to take your game to the next level. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I put out new videos each week on sports psychology and mental training. And if you're interested in any of the sports psychology programs I have available, I've put links to those in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of success in all that you do.